Okay, so between 4 people we have now roughed out our piece of wood. We're then going to take this little gauge here, just a quick little thing just so you can roughly see who's going to be working on what. So if you mark it as I'm doing here, a little bit of a gap, but only a small gap. We're going to mark out the 4 pieces of wood, 4 work pieces we're going to make. A neat little trick now, if you've got a pencil with big enough lead, is to turn it on and you can put it onto those marks, if you can see them, to clearly indicate where you're going to be cutting. Okay, so we have used our template to get roughly the right size. Now, to explain a little further at this time, what we're trying to create is this turned item here. So the length is indicated by the whole length. The plane sections, which is a plane shaft at the end, is indicated by this. And then where we can do our interesting little shapes in the middle is indicated by this portion here. We're now going to take a different tool. We're going to take what's called a parting tool. And this one, we're now going to move inwards until we create the exact diameter that we need our end shafts to be. So to explain further, to help us to achieve this, we're going to use a little gauge, a quality checking tool called a go, no go gauge. If I turn on, I can explain. Right. Okay, the parting tool has created a little rebate effectively, or a sunken area, and we're going to see whether we can get our go gauge on. At the moment we cannot, so we'll go a little bit deeper. Okay, now you can see I can get that go gauge on. It can go on, which is good. And we try the other side, which is the no go, and that does not yet go. That is roughly speaking how we want it. We're now ready to measure this accurately using a vernier gauge. But what you're going to do is to do the same technique on both portions. So wherever you see these double lines, wherever the end of the work is, we need that to be about 20mm diameter in those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. Okay, so we've now used our parting tool to do those 5 positions. Same rules apply. Always keep it on the tool rest, go in until it makes contact, and then lift so that we're safe. Again, never go in at this angle where it can flip up. You'll see here that the gap has got very large. This is a good opportunity to bring it in closer. So again, it's only just away from the workpiece. What I'm going to ask you to do now is to, where we've got this accurate and we've used a vernier gauge to make sure that is exactly 30mm diameter, then just to preserve that mark, we're going to use a pencil in there. That'll help us in our next stage. What we're going to do is we're going to use our original template to indicate those plain sections of the spindle. We're going to remind you that's the plain sections at the end from there to there. Okay, and this needs to be all the same diameter as the one we've very carefully controlled. So now we can go back again to using our parting tool, or a gouge, or even a skew, which is here, and we can turn down to those marked points, so using the rest, we can get that portion to our control portion, and again we can come along do the rest. But we need to get all of those plain sections the same diameter as the one we measured with our vernier calipers. Okay, so the first person has now got their plain shaft portion at the end there all levelled up as per this. We're now going to do some beading in the middle, and I suggest for this we have divided it into 3 portions. Okay, once again, same trick, we can put our pencil on that mark, and that will give us something to aim for. We can then take our parting tool, which is this tool here, and again we'll come in on tool rest, we'll come in nice and high until we can hear it, and then start to raise, trying to keep it on that line, and the same over here, creating 3 even pieces. We then revert back to our gouge, and we can come in. It's always better to work downhill as you turn. And that creates what's called beads. These have been created very, very rough, but you can see they're starting to take shape. Being soft wood, it doesn't like being toned with quite a blunt gouge. Actually, with a sharper tool, we can then go in afterwards and we can make that a nicer finish. Once you've finished all of these elements of this, you're ready to pass it on. The next person repeats, and at the very end we can just cut down very quickly your portion of the work and move on to the next stage.